So, a very warm welcome to all of you. It's indeed special to see you all on time. I must compliment that once again. So, it is the finale day of the Odisha Debating League. But more than that, it's also the 1st of April, which means that we are celebrating the Odisha Day, the Utkala Divas, as it's called in the
April
memory
Fool.
formation of the state. I was just going to say that. The moment you said that, I was like, oh, only Odisha Day was top of our mind. So, okay, let's not fool around at all because we must come back and take cognizance of what the world is saying about our country today, And I quote over here McKinsey's global managing partner, Bob Sternfeld, who says it's not India's decade, it's India's century. And we've seen that iterated again and again. I'm sure you are all bombarded with great speeches, but I do want to make sure that we understand what are we really talking about and why are we talking about? What does it mean to have a century? So if 18th and 19th centuries were about the Europeans, 20th century was about the Americans, then this particular regions have dominated global economy, popular culture. I'm sure you all see the influence in your lives and narratives, but they have dominated it unproportionately. So if you were to unpeel that and take a few steps deeper, you will find that the European century actually was about UK, France, Germany, Netherlands, and that Dutch story. Similarly, the US story was about Massachusetts, New York, Detroit, Michigan, and then California. And now, obviously, the upcoming states of South America, which is Texas and Houston. Similarly, for the 21st century, the India story has to be great. And it is always going to be great if it's going to be compounded by the rise of its states. And Odisha is one of those states. So when we thought about when we should do it, where should we do it, we picked up Odisha very deliberately because it is one of the fastest growing states in the country today. And we must understand the true nature of what it's showing us in terms of the growth story and the future potential. So I'm just wondering, did you all know that Odisha was considered to be the disaster capital of India? I just want to see a thumbs of hand. Do we know that it was called the disaster capital of India and why? Yeah. Ahan, this is where you are going to tell us why it was called the disaster capital of the world.
Ma'am, I think it's called the disaster capital of the world because when it got that name, a lot of natural disasters used to happen. Things like earthquakes, tsunamis, floods, that sort of stuff. A lot of natural disasters would happen in Odisha.
So where that was very disappointing, the fact is that was also an opportunity for them to recreate everything that they have. And today it's recognized by UNESCO Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission as making the first region which is completely ready to manage any disaster at a community level. And that's why we've sort of created this region as a good model as well. So the fact is that this becomes very similar to the, becoming the Netherlands of India, to be able to say, wherever the growth is happening now, you have a potential to create a model that the world will follow. And this is just one of the examples, right? But the fact is, as we build this together, it can't be dominated with the few narratives the way it was happening in the world, right? We want that narrative to be shaped from every corner of the country, right? Because different voices bring different perspectives, and you all as thinkers know that very well, right? So that's the voice we actually look forward to building, and that's why you see us going around the country to make sure that every area, every stage is set for folks to come in. So now, what are we looking at? We are looking at building these voices coming in from the states, because all of this compounds and give us the more power at the global stage level. And what is the global stage really discussing? I'm sure you are all inundated with the conversations on generative AI, the chat GPT conversations. I just want a quick show of hands. How many of you have seen The Matrix? A quick thumbs up. Is there anybody who's not seen the movie Matrix? Yeah. So I'm assuming most of you have seen that movie Matrix because it's such a favorite of mine. The fact is that there is a point of time where Morpheus asks Neo, right? Do you want to take the red pill or do you want to take the blue pill? And a blue pill always keeps you in the world as you know today. And the red pill will take you in a different direction. The fact is, in this world that we have coming in, especially with this chat GPT, generative AI capabilities, the fact is that we are really out of blue pills, like Yuval Harari says. If language is the very fiber that builds us and is seen as an operating system of human culture, then language is today being influenced by non-human intelligence. Now, how and what can that do to the future of world is what we should really sit back and think, especially as thinkers, especially as people who use the power of language to influence the world around you. You must ponder about it to see what will this world look like if intelligence which is not even got a, which doesn't have the humane values of empathy, compassion, is going to start influencing what people are reading, is going to have an opportunity to exploit our human efficiency, the weaknesses and the biases as well. So it's a very interesting point of time really for all of us. And you can see it is so interesting and so rapidly high paced that Elon Musk is also talking about pausing the development till we think about what it means for us as a human race. But what it requires and what it means for all of us to understand is that we will require even more stronger points of views, thinking to come in to figure out how do I overlay this world that is getting shaped by the bots to be able to think about what it means to be human, right? So this is literally about celebrating you all, celebrating the fact that you've all taken out the time to invest in these skills and continue to do that. You must see it as a journey, and I'm sure you all do. So without much further ado, I'm going to definitely talk about the fact that we are very proud of you, that you have had 2-3 days of cutthroat qualifier competitions where 13 cities came in together and represented by 23 states. You are all the best performers who are now debating the out rounds of the Odisha Debating League, and we are very proud of all of you. We couldn't say that more now. So before we begin, I do want to make sure that I just quickly just say hello to the people behind the scenes. So we have with us today the head of social media, Devika Khanna. Devika, if you can just say a quick hello. She is the face behind the digital presence that you see on our Insta channel and LinkedIn. And she's enjoyed research in digital world enough, but we trust her to identify what's the zinc factor. So she's always there. We have Kamal sir over here, who's pretty much the mastermind behind thinking through what the tournaments will be, what will be exciting. And it's very difficult to keep it exciting for all of you because I can tell you, you're all very demanding, in terms of formats, motions. So what should we do differently? He's the mind behind that. Apart from being actually a technology CTO from IIT Delhi. And Nitisha ma'am, are you here? Have you joined us now? Nitisha ma'am is the head coach of Odisha Debating League. You saw her training multiple teams in tournaments like Kings and LSC. Those are some of the wins that we've been seeing. And but I must tell you that they all debate on the weekend. So they're not just trainers, they are active debaters in the circuits as well, because a lot keeps changing on the circuit for them to keep imbibing back into your debates, right? Okay, so with that, we will start the day. Nitisha, are you here and connected? Because then I'll hand it over to you.
Hello, yes, I am. So, well, I'd be speaking, but I'd probably not be on camera right off the bat. Somewhere along the day, but not right now because of the internet. So, all right, I welcome you all formally to the out rounds of Odisha Debating League. I think a robust enough introduction has already been given to you about why we chose Odisha and things like that. In terms of like the technicalities, the format of the tournament, as is known to you all from the qualifiers, happens to be World Schools Debating Championship, WSDC format, primarily chosen because this is the prominent format in which like high schoolers debate, but also in terms of just like a lot of prominent international tournaments happening in this format for schoolgoers. So it just helps you like have this stepping stone in these like local tournaments wherein you are able to equip yourself with the ability and the skills to debate better, but also like to just find peers who you can go to tournaments with, because finding partners and things like that can also, I mean, should also happen through platforms, given that it's not so easy to do that independently. But in terms of the theme of the tournament, then it's termed homage to ethos, preservation of culture amidst rapid transformation. Again, not something entirely unknown to you guys, because this was also the theme that we used in the qualifiers. It's just going to be refined as we move to the out rounds in terms of us talking about culture, but in very specific ways through the rounds. The idea behind the theme then is that of like warning culture with the dawn of advanced technology and modern societies. Modernity is known to have like homogenized societies through like, let's say, like globalization and the hegemonic ideals of one actor on the global platform. So like besides that, there's also debates on like artificial intelligence happening almost every weekend at all the tournaments every now and then. We just can't seem to get enough of like the anticipatory excitement of what humans surpassing AI would look like. So in the wake of all of this, the theme of this tournament is to lodge our thoughts in the value and significance of tradition, culture, which upon the ruins of which this technological empire is erected. The question is then in which we seek to resolve and answer in these like out rounds and like in this tournament at large is what does a balance look like? Can a balance be like is it possible in the first place? And if it is, then how does technology dovetail with culture in order to propel the society forth? All right. So that being the synopsis of what the theme looks like and why we ended up using that for this tournament. Coming to the better, exciting parts of the tournament, we have a stellar set of adjudicators with us today for the out rounds. So I'll just give you a brief introduction for all of them. So starting with Robin. Robin Ahuja happens to be a UADC breaking edge, having won multiple tournaments like RMLPD 2023 and FTD 2023. If you don't know what these abbreviations stand for, it's perfectly all right. These are just good tournaments where these people have won. In terms of like Sanya's credentials, Sanya Sethi being the second adjudicator on the panel today, she has served in a lot of capacities, such as equity officer at multiple tournaments, while also getting invited almost every weekend to adjudicate at tournaments like Waxlocant and Manzar, like something, I mean, some to give some frequent references of like some frequent tournaments she's been to and will go to. She has been a finalist at CBS PD 2022, CBS PD 2022, LSR PD 2022. Again, if you don't know what which PDs these are and on which like colleges, it doesn't really matter. It's in terms of the third adjudicator then is Sushant Shekhar. He's been the debate society convener at MIT Manipal, having broken at multiple prestigious tournaments like IIT Delhi recently as a judge. Keshav Mohan happens to be the last adjudicator, breaking adjudicator again at Harvard Invitational 2022, Asian Online Debating Championship 2022, Oldham Cup 2022, many other tournaments where they've also broken as like speakers and gotten speaker prizes. Fair enough.
So I just want to make sure that all the edges are quickly saying a quick hi.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yes, it'll be nice, and it takes us a lot to take them out of the current tournaments to give them the time, but it's really encouraging to see them here. So thank you, Robin. We can see you here. Sanya, Shashank, thank you so much for joining in as well. And I can see Keshav as well. Keshav, thank you so much for joining in. It's really special for you all to take the time out. Yes.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, when they'll be announced for everything, like for the pre-semi-finals, the announcing for the results, for all of that, we have to join this link only, right?
Yeah, and Nitiksha ma'am is just going to give us the flow of the day. I know you have been very patient. So give us a minute or so more. Nitiksha ma'am,
Okay,
please take over and take us to the flow of the day, followed by a few questions that some students have.
Hi, yeah. So roll call has already happened. It has, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Opening ceremony is what is going on right now. So we'll start with the pre-semi-finals by 10 a.m. ideally, and they will be running simultaneously for juniors and seniors. So by 11 a.m. we should be done with pre-semis. The result declaration for pre-semis should happen in the next 10 minutes from like 11 a.m. to 11:10 at best. And then we'll begin with the motion release for junior semifinals and senior semifinals. Again, semifinals will happen simultaneously from 12:15 p.m. to 1:15 p.m. ideally. After which we will break for lunch. So 1:15 to 2 p.m. should roughly be the time for lunch and just for you guys to get some break in between. The motion release for grand finals then will begin at around 2 p.m. And yeah, grand final should happen from 2 p.m. onwards then. The closing ceremony should begin by 5 ideally, post everything, and once everything's concluded, we'll be back with the awards and the closing ceremony by 5 p.m. That's what the schedule looks like for now.
Yeah. So happy to address any questions. I can see a few hands going up. Let's just go through any questions that the group may have before we then get on to our debate rooms. And we will stick to schedule, okay? I need your support on that. Please go ahead, Ahan. I think you've been waiting. Then we can come to Briha.
Ma'am, in the first speaker's speech, does the roadmap count in the timing?
Could you please come again? Sorry.
In the first speaker's speech, will the roadmap count in the timing for proposition?
The roadmap, as in you adumbrating what the speech will entail.
Yes, and what all the speeches will
Yeah,
contain.
yeah, yeah. Like as soon as you start, post the introduction, everything counts as part of your speech. So don't spend a lot of your time outlining what you're going to say.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, Priya, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So the first round, again, each team will be speaking both proposition and opposition, right?
No. So pre-semis, you the motion like the motion has already been given. Now you'll be. I'm sure the stance has also been given by this at this time by this point because the allocation has happened, right? Roll call and everything. And
Right.
even if it has not, like there is going to be allocation. So you will debate on a motion from only one side. It's not like the qualifiers this time around.
Understood. Thank you.
Sriti, go ahead.
Yes, so I have two doubts. The stance, has it been posted now, or do we wait for some more time?
We'll be releasing the stance shortly.
We'll just
Okay,
release that.
And the grand finals, are they going to be happening simultaneously for the juniors and the seniors, or will it be one after the other?
It'll be simultaneous.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Oh, yes, ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
So it says the document which we received that the finals for the seniors will be from 4 to 5 p.m. and the motion release will be from 2 to 3 p.m. So I think it is not going to be that way, right? The finals for seniors will also start with the juniors at 3 itself, right?
No, we're doing this one after another. Devika, you can open the schedule once. You all have the schedule which has been posted on the group, right?
Yes, ma'am, but I just wanted to clarify if we will be getting 2 hours of preparation then.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Just once again, Kamal, just come again on this one on the question that she has asked.
Yeah, so two questions. I guess the one is related to the team proposition, like what stance they have for the pre-semis.
We'll release it. Yeah.
So we will tell you the rooms in just 5 minutes, which room you will go, which edges, and which side will you pick. That's one. Now related to the question that how much time will you have? So there's a bit change. The seniors will go first. So motion release first happens for the seniors at 2 p.m. sharp. The match starts from 3 p.m. and the parallel in the group, we will announce the motions for juniors. So all of you will have 1 hour. It's just that you will receive the motion at 3 p.m. the juniors, and your match
Okay,
starts.
thank you.
So sir, to be clear, the juniors debate will happen from 3 to 4, but the seniors will happen from 2 to 3.
No. So 2 to 3 is the motion release first for the seniors.
Okay.
Their match will happen from 3. So they have 1 hour of preparation time. That's what happened in the main room. And the junior match will start from 4 p.m. So their motion get released at 3 p.m. in the group, the WhatsApp group.
So all groups get 1 hour of preparation time, right? So with that, Kamal, you can create the breakout rooms. Let's stick to time. I'm loving the fact that we are on time. Let's keep that spirit.
And before that, let me just announce which room will you go and which side will you go. Okay. So the teams which will go to semis directly, they can join back at their time. Now the teams which will be going to pre-semis, the junior first. In the room 1, we will have team 7 and team 3. Team 7 will go as proposition and team 3 will go as opposition. Do we have both the teams? And this room will be adjudicated by Sushant. Moving to the room 2, for juniors, we will have team 8 as proposition and team 12 as opposition. This room will be judged by Sanya Sethi.
Team 12, right?
Yes, team 12. Team 8 as proposition, team 12 as opposition. junior categories. So just jot it down, because once I open the room, I will let you go to your room directly. Moving to the seniors pre-semi-finals, team 16 versus team 23, going to be room number 3, judged by Robin Ahuja. Moving to the room 4, is team 22 versus team 2. Team 22 versus team 2. Now team 16 will go as proposition. Team 23 will go as opposition. Is that clear in the room 3? Room 4, team 22 will be proposition and team 2 will be opposition. And this room will be judged by Sanya Sethi. Now I'm opening the rooms so you can move to your rooms 1, 2, 3, 4 respectively.